want to share some things with you. The first thing that I want to share is news about the Disney Plus lineup. I think they announced like 30, I can't remember exactly how many, I won't even guess, but they had announced a lot of movies and TV shows for their streaming service. And right now, Alita is not one of those. I will go over some of my thoughts, my opinions, because that's all I have, as to why Alita might not be on Disney Plus, if she'll ever be on Disney Plus, and what might be going on with that. And the second thing is Sausage Roll covered the Alita sequel petition again. Well, not again, but Sausage Roll is another media outlet that has covered it. That's what I mean to say. And another thing is which ties into the first topic that I wanted to cover, the issue with Alita's rights, her not just the distribution rights, but the property going forward, and whether or not Disney has a first look clause or a right to first refusal. And it looks like they might have one. It's just a possibility. And then the last thing I'll share with you is some pictures of Blu-rays that I, Dennis, and Bozilla 4 have purchased, and we'll be giving these out. But first things first, you know what, we'll start with the Sausage Roll article first, actually. Okay, so Sausage Roll tweeted out 80,000 signatures already. I don't think it's quite 80,000 yet. It's actually less than that, a little bit less, but it's almost there. The Alita Army has more members than Andorra has citizens. I don't know what Andorra is, but I guess that's a good thing, I guess. Anyway, so they say that they are impressed. Now, they drop a lot of hashtags here: Alita Army, Alita Angel, Alita, and whatnot. And hopefully Jim Cameron does see this. I don't know if he will. Hopefully he does. The point, the point is that we want them to know that the interest is there, and that is basically what Sausage Roll says in their article. And I'll show you a little bit, just a little of what they say here. So the title of it is Alita Petition boasts almost US dollars. I think they probably should have said 2 million US, but anyway, that's besides the point. In value as it reaches 80,000 signatures. Now, I'm going to zoom in on this so that you can see it better. Hopefully you can see it better. Okay, so get this out of the way. It's often said that people are wasting their time when signing petitions because studies show, I think studies or a study, whatever, because studies show that a majority of petitions barely make any change. However, this is not the case for Alita 2. The petition has a heavy impact on the future of the film series. Here is why. So they are going to give us their opinion on why that is. Petitions go largely ignored, but that is because the majority of petitions are merely used as a form of protest. There is no inherent value of a petition that demands change. Even when the petition is threatening in nature and calls for a boycott if the demands aren't met, a study shows that a very small percentage of signers actually go through with it. But when it comes, okay, I need to proofread just a little bit more, just like me. I can't complain because my stuff is bad too. But when it comes to positive petitions that show support for a brand or product, it gives the producers incentive to act because, depending on the success of the petition, it promises them a monetary return. Now, I believe it was Cinema Blend. No, it was actually Forbes. Scott Mendelson from Forbes who first said, as far as I can remember, that I'm going to try to find you. I'll just look it up right now, actually. Okay, it's a very good thing that I'm at home right now because I have a list of these links that I can go back and look at. Okay, so it was on May 23rd that he said, scrolling down here to where he speaks of Rosa Salazar and Alita Battle Angel. I think I'll start right, yeah, I think I'll start right here at but. But as a rule, especially when trying to launch a new franchise or get people hooked on a new cinematic world, you must make sure audiences want to see the lead character. Alita Battle Angel wasn't a huge hit at 85 million domestic and 405 million worldwide on a $170 million budget, but it performed above expectations and attracted a very passionate fan base. Of course, he's talking about Alita Army. This is what Cinema Blend has also referred to us as the vocal fan base, passionate fan base. They didn't actually name drop Alita Army until recently, but before that point, they would just call us the passionate fan base. I think they were worried about the possible negative side of the, there were people in Alita Army who had other motivations and they probably didn't want to drop that name drop Alita Army because of that element that was within the Alita Army basically. But moving on from that, because this lead character, played by Rosa Salazar, was a central focus of Fox's marketing campaign and that character struck a chord with audiences, come what may, Alita performed a heck of a lot better than the likes of Mortal Engines. Okay, I'm just going to skip down some. And if we get an Alita sequel, it'll only be because there is interest or potential in the further adventures of its title character. This is why it's very important that we continue to make our voices heard. And I think what I was saying the other day about us getting into those threads, those movie threads, and even topics and conversations where people are talking about movies and saying, "Hey, how about Alita?" And I know people can get hostile or defensive, but if you can handle that without attacking them and getting too toxic, then go ahead and do that. But if you can't, then kind of avoid it. Then just ignore it. Just let it be because we can't reach everybody. But it's important because this is what gets the attention of, oh, this thing is in the way now. Okay, there we go. This is what gets the attention of the media, and they can give us a boost. And these boosts are important for gaining more numbers, more signatures, more recognition from the producers, and then they know that the interest is there, and that they can invest in a sequel, and it's not going to be too much of a risk for them. So let's move on to the next thing that I was originally first going to talk about, and that was Disney Plus. Now, Alita so far isn't going to be in their lineup. There are also a few other Marvel movies that aren't going to be in the lineup, and according to Entertainment Weekly, it's because they were already contracted to be on Netflix for at least 2019. Now, what situation is Alita in? Is Alita under contract to be on Netflix this year? Or is it possible that Alita may be on maybe Hulu? Now, the questions that I was asking it is, yeah, the question is, why is Alita not in this lineup? Is it because Disney doesn't want Alita on Disney Plus? Is that a possibility? Maybe Disney would rather have Alita, the first movie, of course, streamed on Hulu. Is it because there is an issue with her rights? Like maybe Disney doesn't have the right to stream it. I mean, I figured they would, but I'm just tossing everything out there. Is it because of HBO? As someone, I believe it was, I forgot how to say the person's name. I looked it up really quick. Okay, here's the thread here. And the post that was shared with me was from Corso Latarius. I believe that's how you say your name. And the link that she shared was about HBO and Fox having a deal that, as you can see here, extends through 2022, where HBO would get the movies that were produced by Fox. Now, is Alita included in that? Is it possible that Alita is going to be on HBO or what is it, HBO, whatever kind of streaming service they may be setting up, or they're on demand until maybe 2022? Is that possible? I'm trying to find a little bit more information here. HBO, pay window, whatever. But yeah, is that another possibility? I don't know. These are some things to consider. Maybe, but maybe, which might be just as likely, Disney simply doesn't want Alita on Disney Plus, and maybe they may choose to stream it on Hulu or something. Now, the other thing that has to do with Alita's rights that I wanted to show was this from December 17, 1995, and this is when Cameron took his company Lightstorm to Fox, and when he did that, he had made an arrangement with Fox, and I'm going to find it here, an exclusive deal. Here it is. I'll just start here. 20th Century Fox has structured a new exclusive deal that will allow the director to concentrate on movie making again. Under the terms of the First Look Pact, so that's what I was referring to a few times, the First Look, right to first refusal or First Look clause or whatever, Fox will be the sole financier of Lightstorm's high-octane productions. In exchange, the studio will own all worldwide rights to Lightstorm's films. Nevertheless, Cameron's New Deal is the latest example of a top filmmaker. Okay, I want to skip down to another part where it speaks one more time about that first look deal. So I think it's right here. Yeah. Under the terms of the new First Look deal, Cameron will write, produce, and direct event pictures for the studio. And the deal calls for Lightstorm to develop potential TV programming for the studio as well as produce several low budget films. Okay. Now, another thing that I learned from here is that John Landau actually works for, I'm going to see if I can find that. John Landau works for Lightstorm. He works for Cameron, not Fox. And that's good because I was always worried that he wouldn't be able to break away from. I'm going to look for this while I talk to you. I was worried that he wouldn't be able to break away from Disney because I thought that Landau worked for Disney, and if he worked for Disney, I mean, he works for Fox, and if he worked for Fox, of course, he would be a Disney employee now, and I just didn't see them separating, right? So here it is, right here. Further cementing the relationship between the filmmaker and the studio is Cameron's recent hire of former Fox executive VP John Landau. So that would make Landau an employee of Cameron, not Fox. So I don't have to worry about Cameron wanting to take Alita to a different studio and a different distributor and not being able to go because he doesn't want to separate from Landau and Fox or anything. So it turns out that he has his own little team, like Storm, and John Landau is part of that team. So that's good. In my opinion, that increases the odds that he can take the Alita sequel away from Disney to a different distributor. Now, there's another issue though. Let's bring up Terminator. Terminator, or Terminator Dark Fate, I should say. Terminator Dark Fate was not directed by Cameron, and so was Alita Battle Angel. Now, under this first look clause or this deal, the movies that were directed by him were supposed to be, I'm going to find that again. Cameron will write, produce, and direct event pictures. So does the first look deal still apply if Cameron doesn't direct the movie? Let's just say it does. Okay, so even if he doesn't direct the movie, then let's say Fox or Disney still get the right to first refusal, and maybe they can sit on it until they decide what to do with it. But let's look at this though. Terminator Dark Fate was distributed not by Fox, but by Paramount, Viacom, at least domestic. Now, um, what does that tell us? Does that mean that Fox not rejected? Does that mean that Fox passed on it? That Fox refused? I doubt it. I doubt that Fox will refuse or pass over a Cameron movie. So what does that mean? What happened then? How did um, Terminator Dark Fate end up at Paramount? Is it possible that the deal, this first look deal, expired? Is it possible that it expired? Um, or is it just that, like I said before, if he doesn't direct it, maybe there's a way out of it, right? Maybe there's a loophole there. I don't know. But there's another thing about Terminator though. Dark Fate was distributed internationally by Fox. I don't believe that's because of this deal. I don't believe that because I think it would be distributed domestically too as well. Um, Hopefully I made the point well on that last one. The final thing I wanted to share were these Blu-rays that we had bought. The first stack here on the left is mine. The reason why the stack is so tall is because there are six of the, what do you call it, the wristband variety over here. And then you have a stack from Bozilla 4 and a stack from Dennis 1 or Dennis 1. Um, and I decided to stack them and see how tall they got there. But like I said in this next tweet after, though, if you can't afford to do this, if you can't afford to buy Blu-rays, then just keep up the word of mouth, share the tweets, especially these tweets that we put out for the secret petition and the links to the Fox store and whatever other tweets we put out, any tweets basically from Alita Army, because this word of mouth is really important, and we can't afford to pay for to promote tweets. We can't afford to pay those things because I think there's like $1.35 per engagement, and that can get really expensive. So I think that is pretty much everything. I rushed towards the end. Sorry if I didn't cover everything perfectly well because the video was getting long. I hope that explains what I tried to say though. And so that's pretty much it. Thank you all for listening and buy those Blu-rays or do whatever else you can. And that's all. Bye.